All right, are you ready for part 5? So in this part 5, we're going to take a look at this particular tooltip and make sure we give you all you need to know. So if you're ready for part 5, let's get on it. And you have to make sure you watch the first part, second, third, the fourth part for you to have the full understanding, specifically if you are just clicking on this for the first time. So welcome to the Tao session. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, and share, like, and I'll be back with more content just like this. Okay, let's have some kind of focus on this particular chart right here. So every single time we have above, like this particular one now that is above the budget, we want to have this very color we have up here. But if we have below the budget, for example, where could that be? Something like this very one here now, February, right here. So we want to have red because it's below the budget. So let us ask Copilot to do this for us. And if that works, that is beautiful. So now we're going to go ahead and click on this. Let me click in here, then click on the measure area. So click on the quick measure here. Let's find out if it could happen. So we have this suggestion with Copilot. Don't forget to watch the video that can guide you through how to enable your Copilot on this particular platform. So what we're going to do now is to actually come here and tell Copilot to, like, if the total revenue is greater than the total budget, format as blue color, else format as red color. So we're going to find out if Copilot could actually read our measure, the two measures, and return anything. So already it tells us we weren't able to suggest any measure. Try selecting a calculation to create your measure or write your DAX yourself. So now we are going to write our DAX ourselves. So it has just admitted to us that, man, I can't do this. Yeah. Okay, let's forget about this now. I'm going to have this hidden. So we have to step in and have this created ourselves. The main color we want to have, if it is actually above the budget, is this. So let me come here now and we scroll down to column. So under the color here, so this is the color we want to have. But if it is below, we want to have red. So first of all, let's just copy the red color, this very color here. So the color code, we copy it. Now we're going to create the measure for this. So this measure here, new measure. So we're going to call this one conditional formatting. So let's call this one here to be conditional formatting 1 in case we have more. So we do shift enter to go into the next line. So right now we're going to use variable. So var. So the first variable we're going to create will be underscore revenue here. So revenue. Inside here, we're going to store in our total revenue. So shift enter. So we create the next variable. So this variable is underscore what? Budget. So budget, we put our equal sign here. So we store in the value of our total budget here. So we need to create another one that is in that variable. So this one will be variable what underscore result. So variable result equals here, shift enter. So this is where we set our condition. So we're going to use a function either if or switch to get this done. Let us use the switch function here. So we're going to say now switch through comma, shift enter. Then we're going to actually say, okay, if revenue, so underscore revenue here is less than underscore budgets, then what we want here is a red color. So we can define the red color to be F1 to B3 and 0. That is the red color. But it's not going to work this way because we do not have the hash key here. So let us have the hash key here. So now this is what it is. Else, just go ahead and give us, this color we've copied, which is this main color we have dominating our dashboard here, this one. So I'm going to paste the one I've copied in here, then close this, Shift Enter. We go ahead and close our switch. So it's going to switch to this one and make this true, then give it the red color. Then if it is not true, it's going to be false. Definitely it's going to switch to the next color. That is how the switch works. So Shift Enter, then we are going to return this here. I type in return to project what we have done. So we are returning what? We are returning underscore results here. So no need of closing anything again. We go ahead and hit the enter key. So this should solve the problem. Right, so let's go ahead and see what we can do here. If I click on here right now, we are going to go to try to remember the name of your measure is conditional formatting, right? 1. So we scroll down. Instead of us to use this default color, we click on this FX here. So from the FX, we go here and we use the field value. Then we click here and scroll down a little bit and get to our measure. So conditional formatting 1. Then if I click on OK right here, let's find out. Can you see? So all those places we have those colors red, they are where we went below our budget for the month. So you can see this is exactly what it is. Can you see that? All right, the next thing we're going to do right now, we're just done with this, is to some kind of like, okay, fine, we've done that. This particular one here needs to be some kind of formatted nicely. So I'm going to click on it. First of all, what I need to do here is to make sure the header stands out. So I don't like the way the header is looking right now. We have to scroll down until we get to the header. Here we go. So I'm going to give the header a bold font like this one here. So what if I increase it to 11? Let's find out. 12, that will just cut off some part of it. So let me just, yeah, something like this will be cool. So I think we are going to go with this. All right, we might be cool with this, but something is not still really cool right now. And that is going to be this one here. Let's use some bars for our main value. And for the percentages, we're going to use background color for it. You get that? Okay, let's do that. So I would love to use the color I have right here. So what I can do now is just to come here and copy this color if I can't remember it. So I copy its code. So to give it here now, what we can do is to scroll, just click on the table. Then we scroll all the way down. So you're going to see where we have cell elements, click on it, and we are onto revenue. So click on the revenue and check the bar. So we click here. So instead of us to use, to use this color here, we're going to just paste in the color we've just copied right here. And we click on OK. So that gives us this particular color. So we are going to do that to what? Do that to our quantity. So we check this and turn it on. Click here and quickly change the color you want. Here we go. Click on OK. So now we have gotten those one here, right? So if I open this now, this is what I have. So we have it right here. So the next thing now is for we to actually make sure we touch this one here. So if you go right and click on this particular percentage, so you're going to have two of the percentages background if you want to turn it on. So background 1 here, background 2 here. Let's turn this background here on. This is what we have. So if I'm not satisfied with this, I can always make sure I play around with this here for the gradient. I would love to choose some kind of cool color that will blend with my dashboard. Let's go with something like this. And let me test it out. See, I think this is much better, but not really cool. with me, so I can always make amend. I'll come to this. Let me select something like this. Click on OK, and this looks good. So for the next background is this one here. That is exactly what it is. So click on this and let us choose the same color. If you remember it, that is it. So can you see it now? So this is going to be what we are going to go with. So our dashboard is taking good shape, right? My next part is this one here. I don't actually like the way it is right now, so I would love to some kind of give it nice cool color. So what I'm gonna do is come in here now. No, but the color is what we still need. Of course, we want to copy the color code. Now we go into this here. So we select this one and give it the color code. Then we go ahead and click on OK. Then we have this. For the legend, we have to click here. Can we turn the legend off from here? Yes, of course, we can turn off the legend from here. That is good. So we've turned off the legend. This looks much more better. So that is all we need to have for our formatting. So we have just done some touchings on our formatting. The main work now begins. So what are we going to have right here? If I hover over some aspect of those charts I have here, specifically on this particular part, I want to see my top salesperson for retail, then for distribution, and as well for my online. So what do we do? How do we go about this? Which means we're going to change the tooltip we have here from default tooltip to a customized tooltip. Do we have any column that supports this? We do not have any column that supports this. So we are going to get a new column. The first thing to do is just to head back to what? To the transform data here. Then inside the transform data, we want to grab one more, table in here. Let's go to this particular users. So remember, it's Excel. Just make sure you go ahead and connect. If you look very well now, we have photos right here. Go ahead and open. Let's check out the workbooks, the sheets we have here. So we have group. So here we have a salesperson. I'm going to just select this one and this one. For this one, no, we don't do that because it's a duplicate of the group here. So we don't need this one here. Go ahead and click on OK. If you find this message, just go ahead and click on retry, and that will definitely open this for you. So we have two different, tables right in here now. So we have what we call normalization and denormalization. Let me tell you what it is. So now, normalization here is a process. Here we have normalization. This is a process of organizing data in the database. So any table that can stand on its own should be normalized from the fact table. For example, in this fact table, we can have our salesperson, both the name and, every information about the salesperson. So instead of we having that, we went ahead and normalized it, and we have our salesperson table, which that is actually normalization. In Excel, we always have, if you want to use pivot table in Excel, this is what you use. You have to do what we call denormalization. Denormalization is when you have your salesperson, your customer, your location, information in one single table that will be very huge in column. That is denormalization. So why am I saying this to you? So if you look at here vividly right now, in this particular table we have right here is a normalized table. So we want to denormalize this table right now and connect what we have here to our salesperson. We want to give the images URL here to the sales salesperson table. And under this particular group here, we have some URL. So let's click on it. So if you can see it now, so this image URL here would need to go to our product right here. So in the process of doing that, we are not normalizing our table. Instead, we are denormalizing our table. Do you get that now? So normalization is this. Here we have this table. Inside this table, we have this particular, channel here. If we want to normalize it now, we can remove this channel here and have it on a different table where we can have a key or some keys that will be used to connect to this table. That is what we call normalization. So now you should understand the difference between normalization and denormalization in database, all that. Okay, let's try this right here. Let's see what we do. Right now, let me just click on refresh. That is good. So if I click on this salesperson here, we have the salesperson ID, right? So if I go to salesperson here, the salesperson ID we have here would be a bit different from what we have just seen. Can you see this now? Here is salesperson on what? On a whole number. The salesperson here is actually a text because it has SP for salesperson. So the very first thing we need to do is to make sure we get off all those SP away from here. So to do that now, right click and you're going to see where it says replace value. So click on that. What do? We want to actually replace SP with nothing. So just type here SP in capital letter, then replace it with nothing. Click on OK. So that doesn't work, right? Okay, gonna remove that step. What could we do? Let's go to transform here. On the transform, let us look at what we can do. So I think that should work. Let us try it again. Replace value here. So we do SP. Oh, SP, yeah, this is the capital letter. This should work. Do it again. Yeah, it has been removed. So after we might have done that, we can just click on this one now and turn it into a whole number. So with this now, we can be able to look up all those URL using this ID to our salesperson ID. So the very first thing you need to do to get this done is to make sure you are on the dimensional table you want to actually get these particular images right on. So we are already clicked on it. So the next thing we do is for it to be on home. Click on home and we have what we call append and we have merge query. So when you append, you are growing your table vertically. So when you merge query, you are growing your table horizontally. Understand that? You get it? So let me show you a demonstration here. So when you use this particular append here, this append queries, you increase the rows. It keeps growing. And the next thing it will have scroll that you need to scroll to see more rows. But if what you have done is using the merge queries right here, you are adding more columns. That's exactly what it is. You should understand the difference between append and merge queries. Okay, now what we need to do is to merge queries. Just go ahead and click on this. So we need to get a table. Click on this one here and select the table, salesperson table right here. So we have to look for what is common between these two tables. So the salesperson key and the salesperson ID from here. So you should produce 100% match between the two tables before you can definitely satisfy that this is going to work. So when you have equal number like 12 of 12, 100 of 100, 1000 of 1000, that means you have the exact match you're looking for. But if anything happens that you have like 3 of 12 here, that means you don't actually have the right match. So don't change this, leave it the way it is. Go ahead and click on OK. So from here now, just click on this part. So we don't need to actually include the column, our prefix, that is the column, the table where we're getting this from. So I'm going to deselect it. What we want is just what is the URL. So make sure it's the one that is checked. The ID, no. Click on OK. And that gives you all the URL you want right here. Give it some time. So there you have it. Let us do the same thing to the product here using the product group. So the common things we have between two of them now is the product group right here. So I'm going to click on this product. Let's find out if we have what we call product group, and we have it. This is exactly where it is. So now we are going to go to merge queries. So we go for the group. Here we go. So select this and select this. Can you see 798 of 798? That is actually all the merges. So click on OK, right? Then we click on this. Then what we want is the URL. Just do this. So here we go. All right, we have gotten all of this right here by denormalizing this table. So there is no point in we taking this table to Power BI desktop. So we can delete this, of course. If we try to delete this, let's see what we're going to have. Can you see the query salesperson cannot be deleted because it is being referenced by another query dimensional table called salesperson. Close it. The only way to actually disallow this for being loaded into our Power BI desktop is to right click and say enable load here. You just click on uncheck it. Once you do that, now it will be on italic. This one now would be loaded if we don't do the same thing to it. So where it says enable load, don't enable it, just uncheck it. Now here we go. So those two tables would not follow us there because we have already gotten what we want into some of those tables by denormalizing it. Okay, nicely done. Let us go ahead and click on this and close and apply. So give it some time. So now they have all been loaded. Let us check them out. If I click on salesperson here now, we have this. If I click on product, where are you? That is this one here. So we have this as well. Beautiful. So the next thing we're going to do now is to create a tooltip. Let us call this one our dashboard here. So that is our dashboard. So we click on the page again to add on that page. This time around, I'm going to say salesperson. Salesperson tooltip. Here we go. So this is going to be a custom tooltip. I don't want it to show. I want to hide it. So I hide the page. So the first thing you're going to do is to come to this part. Then make sure you change it from standard to tooltip. So this is the default tooltip you have. I'm going to show you how to have your tooltip customized. Then after that, let's go to the canvas background. Okay, canvas setting rather. The canvas setting here. What's there? Here, where is in tooltip? Yeah, we're going to use custom. So for the custom, let's say we want to try 500. Here we go, 500 for the height. This is 500 for the height. And for the weight, let's go with 300. Make it a bit slim. Something like this. Let's go ahead with 350. Okay, I think 350 will make a lot of sense, I presume. Okay, fine. So let's go ahead and close this. Go to background, canvas background here. So we can give it any color we want. But that is not what we want. We want to some kind of, make this very beautiful, right? Then to do that, all we have to do is to create a custom background for it. So don't let us do it now. So I will come to canvas settings here. I will go to this particular vertical alignment. Then I'll make sure it's in the middle. Beautiful. Okay, let's go straight up to our PowerPoint to see how we can create it. There is a very nice background for this. So here is the previous one we have created. I'm going to Control N. So if I Control N right now, it's going to open a new, PowerPoint for me. Then from there, I can just get this one off, remove it. the very first thing you're going to do is to click on something like, I think is draw or design. I can't remember. Let's click on design. Yeah, on design. Then from design, you go to slide size, click on it and click on the customize slide size here. Then make sure you change this to portrait. Instead of using landscape, change it to portrait and click on OK. I'll just say ensure fit. So this is the size you have. So we have to start our design from here. I hope you understand this. Let's go to our insert. Then from there, we click on shape. Then we get this shape. So on this shape, I'll just drag it down. Then I'll now select it and take it up. So fill it to this level here. I just want to have something like this. So I can right click now and go to my format shape. So there we have this. We can remove the line. That is nice. For the color, I will just change it to some random colors here. Let's go with something that looks like this. No? Okay, let's go ahead and try just. So I would love to use something like this for this. Then I'm going to duplicate this one here. Ctrl D to duplicate it. Bring this down. So I'm going to create this space at the top here. Very important. Just leave that space. So we're going to drag this all the way down to cover to this extent here. So this white space is very important to be there. Let's come back here and copy the color from here. That is what we're going to use. So we just copy this color code. So minimize it. So we are here. We come here and paste in the color code here. Click on OK. So we have our color code here. So the very next thing we're going to do now is to some kind of go back to this insert here. Then we click on this. I'm going to take a circle. Hold my shift key to have a perfect circle drawn in here. So I think I'm going to go with something like this. So in this circle, I will have it right here. Have a white space here, which is very important. So I will do this one, no line. Then come here. I'm going to put it on white. Importantly. Now I've gotten it just duplicated. I will just click on this one and turn it into green. Let's do green, this green here. Nice. I think, okay, it should be this one to be turned into green instead. This one is green. This one will be white here. So I'm just going to hold my shift key and reduce this a bit, just a bit. Let's move this one in here and control it. Nicely done. So you can just try as much as you could to make it look how you want it to look. I want to have something that looks like this. So all I could do now is just to copy this one. Ctrl D. So I'm going to have one here. Then Ctrl D again. I'm going to move this one right here. So let us move it up a little bit. Okay, fine. So we need to get this one duplicated. We can use it. Ctrl D to duplicate it. Widen it here. And widen it a bit. So I'm going to bring it here. So I'm going to just extend it this way. So what I'll do now is to right click and send it to back. So we can't view it again. Click on this one and send this one to back, that will reveal this one, and it will send this one to the back of this one here. You get it? So if I click on this now, I want to use the gradient fill here. So using the gradient fill, I am going to select this one and try to see which one would be ideal. Let's go and check this one out. Yeah, this one is cool. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to make sure I some kind of remove like 2 steps away from here. So right away on this one, I want to use this same color here. Okay, I think what I need to do is to change it to this. So this white color I've used, I'll switch it and have this one here. So what happens to this one? What if I try to reduce its transparency? That gives me that. I can reduce the transparency of this one as well. I want to create an effect that looks like this. Interesting, right? So the next thing I do is to copy and have this one here. Nicely done. So I'm going to Ctrl D again to copy. And this time around, all I have to do is to go to where I can have this rotated. So let's just go to rotate here. Yeah, this is exactly what I want. So we can now do this. Okay, we have to send this to back. Click on this and send to back to reveal that one. So send the same one to back again. So click on this and send this to back. So that gives you this. So we have gotten this right. So I'm going to select this one. On this one, I want to have white color for the outer one. I can move this away and click on this. Then we can decide to have something that looks like this here. So for this one, you can change the position. There is nothing wrong with that. Then all I'm going to do now is to click on white here and have white for it. So for this one, I'll move it away. I'll use a color that looks reddish. Select this one now and have this on, not white, but something like this would be cool. After all this, let's see one thing we're going to do. I would love to click on this one and have it duplicated. Then on this one, I want to go here and have it on white. Then click on the line, solid line here, and have the line for this color. So I'm going to increase the line, or the point of the line, which is the weight, to be a bit thicker, like this. So I can hold my Shift key, then reduce it. Click on this and have it somewhere around here. So Ctrl D to duplicate it. So this one will be beneath here. But for the color, I will go ahead and select this one. That is beautiful. So we just need to do Ctrl D. And I'm going to have this one somewhere around here. So I want to match the color for this. I think the color should be this color here. Okay, nicely done. So I want to quickly go to where can we get that? Go to Insert, click on the text box, drag in the text box here. I'll type here first. Okay, let's format this. So we just put this into, okay, I think that black is okay, but we don't want something very dark. Let's go with this one. So we have this here. We have to reduce it by 1. Nicely done. Okay. If this is okay, Ctrl D. So we have this right here. So instead of first, I'm going to use second here. We are actually creating ranking. Second. And the here. So I think this is huge. What we can do is to select both of them now and try to control what we use here. We want something that will show up. I can decide to select a bolder font. Let's go with this one here. Then with that, when we reduce it, it will definitely show what we want to show. So I'm gonna have this one here. So Ctrl D, we'll bring this one down. Sorry. So we select this one, Ctrl A, and it to be RD for third. So we want to make sure it's showing so well. So we have just created our ranking template right now. What is left is for we to get it to the other side. I might want to have it a bit darker than this. What you can do is just to click on more here and just bring this one down. Click on OK. So we have something as dark as this. So it is time to make sure we save this. Export. Click on this, and PNG is what we're going to use. Double click it. So let's just name this one as Tooltip 1. Tooltip 1. So I click on save. So let us head back to our Power BI here. So click here and go to Canvas background. So drag this one to 0%. Click on this one here. And we select this one. So this is how it looks. Ugly. Don't worry, we can adjust it. Just go to normal. Then we select this fit. Now we select fill. This looks better. Okay. How can we solve this problem? The only way to solve this problem is to come here. Let us use the fit to width and see. Oh no. Let's use fit to page. Fit to page here. Oh, it's a little bit fine. So we can close this now and go to our canvas size. Then let us change our file size to 550. So 550 here. Then 550 is okay. Then we can now come back to here and play around with this. Let's check fit and fill. Normal, no. Fit. Fit looks quite okay, but somehow affected like. So the next thing we do to fix this part here has to do with the weight, not the height any longer. So we're going to go here and click on this part. Let's check this to like 300. Oh, I think 300 seems to be fine, but not quite well. So I'm going to use 320 here. Nicely done. So we have just arrived at what we are looking forward to seeing. And this is exactly what it is. We have gotten this right here. It's ready to be used. So now that I've gotten this, let us add a new page here. Inside here, let us create a ranking. So the first thing I'm going to do is to get my salesperson. And we get my salesperson into a table like this. So I want you to see what I have here. Let's some kind of increase the value to 20. So bold. So we're going to create a measure that we're going to use to create our tooltip here. So click on this very one here. Then we go ahead to tools and create a new measure. So this measure is going to be called ranking salesperson. I'm sorry, let me step out. I want this one to disappear so that it will cover our measure. So ranking salesperson, ranking salesperson here. Okay, it has no difference from what we have done when we created our dynamic ranking in some couple of videos. What I'm going to use is rank X here. So over all this salesperson table, not any column, but over all the salesperson table. So we go ahead and close this comma. So what do we want to use to rank this, which is the measure? Now for expression, we use our total revenue here. Then for the value, we skip it within that comma. So this time around, we're not doing ascending, we're doing descending. Here we go. Go ahead and close this. Then you hit the enter key. That is all we need to do. So if I bring this right here now, oh no, not here. So we need to click on this one and get our ranking salesperson here. So it's going to rank from 1 to what? 1 to the last number, which is 12. So how would you know if this is some kind of correct? Bring in the cells. Let's just rank the cells from the highest. So now you can see 1 to 12 right here. Interesting. So we don't want to use this actually. What we want to use is different. So now we can go here now, go back here. So we have to download from from the marketplace, a particular, chart that will support us to use our image. Let's go to our visual here. So click here and scroll the way down, then go to get more visuals. So make sure you're logged in. As you can see, I'm logged into my Power BI account. So let's just wait for it to come up. So we are going to go here and search for simple image. So simple image. So here we have it. So click on it. We can go ahead and click on add. It's free. You don't need to pay for anything. All you need is your Power BI account. So imported successfully. So let's see, here we go. We have it here. If I click on it now, we have the image right in here. Okay, let's go to the URL. So click on this and let's go to our salesperson. We get it here. So we have the default one. That is the first, person at the top. But we're going to make this dynamic. This is not actually what we want. So for the very first time, I will go into here. Then I'm going to click here and turn off the background. Then that gives me this particular circle effect. So make sure you do this. Put it in the middle of this here. So this will be cool, right? So what I'm going to do now is to click on this one and go to my view. From view, I click on this filter. So once we click on that filter, what we need to do is to click on this part. Remember this salesperson ranking we actually created. So that is what we are going to get. So drag the salesperson ranking and filter this visual here. Drop it here. So we're going to say where is, choosing this particular kind of filter is 1. Then apply this. So that changes this filter for you. This is the top what? This is the top sales person, right? Based on total revenue. So what we can do now is just to make sure we get this duplicated, copy and paste it. So when you copy and paste, it's going to disappear. Don't worry about that. So we now come into here now and change this one to 2. So we change this to 2. Then you paste another one. Then before we make this one right, we have to come here and change this one to 3. 3 here. We apply. And here you go. So all we have to do is to make sure they sit right at where they are supposed to be. So I'm cool with this one. For this one here. All right. So we have just gotten our images and they are very dynamic. They change based on, whatever filter we have placed in them. So the next thing we need to do now is to go ahead and grab this kind of card. We call it multi-row card here. Multi-row card. Get it. So I'm going to have this card here. Spray it to this level. The very first thing I want to get now is some kind of, let's go here. I want to get the name of my salesperson here. Salesperson. So I have all the names. And under the value, I want to get the total revenue. Go to measure, scroll down, total revenue. We have it for all of them. If I do this now, this is what I have, right? So what I'm going to do to isolate others now is to do the same magic we've done previously before now. Click here and get our salesperson ranking and use it to filter this one that now we just have to change this to is one. So top one, filter, that gives us this. Do you understand? So if I now minimize this now, so this is what I have here. All I have to do is to make sure I turn off the background. I will go here, turn this off. So after you might have turned this off, the next thing you're going to do is just to make sure you format it nicely. Let's go to the value here. Put the value on white. Nicely done. So the value of text, I think I'm okay with it. So we use the category here. We change the category color to any color that will match. I think that is not what I want. For this one, I can use something like this that tells us total revenue. Then the next one is the title, I presume. We go for title now. Let's go to properties. This one here, this particular name, where could we just turn that? Oh yeah, here we go. So we have it. Let's select this one and see if this will definitely show up very well. So in that case, we have to look for a bolder font. So I can just take it up a bit. Something like this would be cool. Okay. So I have this. One thing I want to get off is this particular line we have here. So we don't need to keep this line. Let's click on it again. So this time around, I want to go, I don't like this name on that color. So this color will be very cool. So we can increase it because it's the top person, right? Let's decrease it a bit. Fine. So for this particular vertical line here, we need to scroll down to accent bar. We have it turned off. So we can now move it a bit like this. So for this total here, that is what we need to change. That is the category. So we can change it to something like this. I'll look for whatever that can pop out very well, not necessarily that very color. So what we can do on this color, click here and click right here. Let us adjust it. Very bright one. I think this one would do the work. So now we have something like this. The name of the what? The name of the salesperson, then the revenue, and that is beautiful. So the next thing we need to do is just to copy and paste it. So I'm going to drag this one and have it right here. So we can just manually adjust it by using the arrow down here. So we paste on that one. We bring this one here. So we just need to adjust it, the arrow up. So what we need to do is to change this. And I'm going to click on this one. We just use 2 right here instead of 1. Apply. It will have the name changed. So click on this one. We make this one 3. Apply it. Okay. We all have them. So I don't want these ones here to overshadow this very one. All I have to do now is to select this one here. I'm going to go to, where could that be? No, call out, not call out. This card should be closed. That is going to be under, the name should be here, right? So I'm going to select something that doesn't look as bold as that. So something like this will be cool. And I am going to apply the same thing to this one here. Not you. Card. I think I can give it the same formatting over this. Okay. I'll select this one, scroll down, and let's do, yeah, sure. Okay, nicely done. So we are done with this, but not too fast. We need to insert a card, a text box rather. Inside this text box, make it smaller, then you can move it. Oh, how can we move this text box now? Let's just target the, yeah, sure. I'm going to resize it to cover up this part. Nicely done. Okay, for the text box, we turn off the background. So the text inside it would be top 3 salesperson. Top 3 sales person. Control A to highlight the content inside it in the middle. So now let's use 20. And I'm going to use a bolder font for this one here. So I don't want this to be too dark. Let's go with something like this. Here we go. All right, we have one more way to go. I'm going to click on this card here. Just resize it. Target the edge to move it to this side. So let's start putting what we want to have inside it first. Then we go to here and we go ahead and select total revenue here. So to do the formatting now, I want to go here, no border. So go to call out here. Let's put this on 20 and see what we have. Then quickly, we need to use none. That gives us this. So what we need to do next is for we to go down and turn off the label. So we have something like this here. So I'm going to copy this text box we have here. So just copy and paste it. So we move this one. And I'm going to type inside it total revenue. Control A. We need to reduce it to like 12. Okay, let's select something that is not as, let's select the light one, but with the light one, we can make it 16. So the lighter version seems to be good, but what if we make it bold? Oh no, it doesn't really pop out the way I want. I want it to be in black. Remove the boldness. So we need to select something that will pop out very well. Let's go here. I think the bold still maintains it, right? So if the bold will be okay, what we need to have is how to bring this one down a bit. Then in that case, we got it right. So I'm going to turn this one to white. So here we go. So nice design, right? It is the high time we go back to a dashboard. Click on this chart here. This is where we want to have it. Then scroll all the way down, or click on properties here rather. Then you can see this tooltip is turned on. So we are using the default one now. Using the default one is okay. Channel, and we have the percentage. So all I can do now is just to click here, and yeah, we do this. Then what else? We click on this one, and we make sure we don't use the default. We choose this one. Then we come here and choose Salesperson Tooltip. So what do you think we're gonna have? If I hover over it, it would appear. Something weird happened. We need to adjust things here, so it's a bit not right. So we're going to adjust things to look actually right. So here is giving us what we want, but we need to make some adjustments. So it's giving us what we want. We need some adjustment to be made. I think what we can do to fix this is to some kind of change this. Come here. Let's do 300 instead of 320. 300 here. That is nice. So with 300, we have to fix this, and click on this. Make sure it sits tightly. You can just target the edge and use your arrow up to shift things rightly. Then we do the same thing to this one as well. So we have to align it perfectly to where it should be. Something like this would be perfect. Okay, for this one here, you just need to Control A. Then from 16, let us have it on 14. Then target the edge and make sure you move it out a bit. So let us go ahead and try to see how this will look. So we come here now to a dashboard. Once we select, let's see what we have. So this time around, it seems perfect. Nicely done. So can you see this now? So this is how you get this created. Very, very interesting to read. So when you hover, the picture change to the right people that has the top 3, here. And this is exactly what you need to see. You get it now. This is what you need to see. So now we have created this, and it looks very, very much interesting to look at. the next we're going to do is to create a product and as well create another one for budget. So you might want to look at that, right? Let's do it.